from Nairobi, Kenya. This is EBN TV.
Well, good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. Welcome to the broadcast. You are watching EBN Prime Edition. We've got quite a lot in store for you and we're coming to you live from Kenya's capital, Nairobi. Here are the day's top stories. From suspected narcotic substances to defamation, prosecution makes U-turn on charge sheet against blogger Pauline Njoroge. Police will be deployed at 1 a.m. during Wednesday's protests. Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki now says, as he assures no thrift of beefed up security in the region. Opposition leaders arrested during the demonstrations last week, arraigned in court and freed on bond. Well, it is good to have your SMS line is 23993. You can also watch us live on Facebook and on YouTube on EBN TV. I'm Cynthia Nanjala. Let's get started. Now, the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition has suspended the anti-government protests that were scheduled to take place across the country on Wednesday this week. In a statement issued just this evening, the coalition said instead of taking to the streets, they will hold solidarity parades and vigil for victims of police brutality in various locations in all parts of the country. The coalition called on its supporters to come out and light candles and lay flowers for the victims of police brutality during previous demos. Azimio says so far 50 deaths have been reported, with hundreds of others being injured and are admitted in hospitals with grave injuries. Well, indeed, and of course, that is just the latest this evening on the Azimio protest. Raila Odinga coming out to send that tweet under the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition that the Wednesday protests have been suspended, and in alternative, they will be holding that vigilance for the supporters that unfortunately passed away within the demonstrations period. Away from that, let's go to the corridors of courts, where emotions went high at a courtroom at the Malindi Law Courts after the driver that was arrested together with blogger Pauline Njoroge fainted as they waited for the court proceedings. The three, Pauline Njoroge, Jem Mwangi, and Emanze Jilani, were driven from the Watamu police station and arrived at the courts 26 kilometers away at about 12:30 p.m. Emanze fainted as he could not believe that he had been arrested. Well, it took efforts by the crowd in the court to resuscitate him, and the prosecution also charged the Azimio blogger on grounds of cyber harassment contrary to Section 1B of the Cyber Crimes Act. Emmanuel Marwa reports.
Jubilee digital strategist and blogger Pauline Njoroge was on Monday, July 24th, presented at the Malindi Law Court. The blogger, together with the two other persons, were arraigned in court after being arrested by detectives while on holiday in Watamu, Kilifi County on Friday. In a surprising turn of events, the law enforcement made a U-turn on their initial intent and now prefer charges of defamation and cyber harassment against her. Police had claimed they intercepted the vehicle ferrying Miss Pauline, her friend, and her driver. After conducting a search on the vehicle, they discovered some narcotic substances. Earlier on, the presentation of Miss Pauline and the two other individuals was delayed. According to Pauline's lawyers, led by Ndegwa Njiru, their inquiries at the Watamu police station hit a dead end as the officer in charge of the station told them that they had strict instructions not to produce them in any court until they get orders from above.
Kenya belongs to us all. So we are advising those people who have now cultivated the habit of arresting people left, right, and center. If you have a difference of opinion, those people who cannot tolerate dissident voices, they better know that we have independent institutions in this country, being the judiciary. And where we are, the judiciary is the only institution that is going to rescue this country from going down.
Pauline Njoroge is now being charged on grounds of cyber harassment contrary to Section 27 of Constitution, Section 1B of the Computer Misuse and Cyber Crimes Act 2018 over a tweet she sent out on 21st of July 2023, which the prosecution says discredits the reputation of the president. In the tweet, Pauline had stated, as I quote, "So police officers will now be using South Sudan's number plates when going to raid homes of Kenyans," end of quote. Njiru had stated that there were no registration records at Malindi law courts, indicating that the trial will appear in court. The team, which includes lawyers Suleiman Leppa and Sophia Rajab, was facing challenges in ensuring that their clients were brought to court. Pauline Njoroge, Jen Mwangi Nduta, and Emanze Njilani were apprehended after detectives intercepted the vehicle they were traveling in on the Watamu Jacaranda Road on Friday. During the search of the car and their hotel rooms, they were allegedly found in possession of narcotic drugs. Family members of Njilani had pleaded with the police to release him, as he is merely a driver carrying out his duties. Jubilee leaders, led by Deputy Chairperson Beatrice Gambo, had also gathered at the Watamu police station to request the release of the three individuals. Ms. Njoroge has been a critic of President William Ruto government, and through her social media platform, she has been vocal about police brutality during the ongoing anti-government protest. She was part of the Jubilee Digital Strategy team, and she was also involved in the campaign to support ODM's opposition leader Raila Odinga. Njoroge and company have been released on a free bond, and the case is set for mentioning on Wednesday. Emmanuel Marwa reporting for EBN TV.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki has said that security officers are monitoring bandits' hideouts and areas that were gazetted as dangerous in Baringo County and shall remain that way, and anyone found trespassing shall be considered a suspect. He said this on Monday when he addressed a security baraza at Kiserian in Baringo South constituency in Baringo County during his visit to Baringo to assess the ongoing joint operation between National Police Service and the Kenya Defence Forces. Kindiki also condemned the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition demonstrations, saying that they are no longer demonstrations, but instead they are looting sprees. Roifan Shikuku reports.
Professor Kithure Kindiki has said that new administrative units will be added to areas that are in need of security in Baringo County, including Baringo South constituency and Baringo North constituency, so as to flush out bandits from their hideouts.
Na mimi niko hapa siku ya leo kuambia kwamba tumeanza safari ya kurudisha amani ya kudumu.
In addition, areas that were gazetted as disturbed and dangerous, including gorges, valleys, hills and caves, shall remain so, and anyone found shall be considered a suspect and will be dealt with.
Areas that are in need of security and enhanced security will get priority in the operationalization of new administrative units, and Baringo is a key priority for this administration. They will be repulsed, and we are going to gazette Ruko Conservancy as a disturbed and dangerous area and keep out criminals from this space as we have kept them from other spaces.
Regarding Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition demonstrations, Kindiki reiterated that politicians can disagree in terms of policies, but not by organizing violent riots where property is being destroyed.
Wanajificha ati ni siasa wanafanya, lakini ni magaidi. Ati kila siku wanachochea wananchi kwenda mjini kuvunja sheria kuvunja maduka ya watu, kuchukua mazao ya kina mama ama biashara zao kuziharibu, ati wanajisingizia ni siasa wanafanya. Hakuna siasa ya wizi, uporaji na kuumiza wananchi.
He also insisted that those hiding behind politics to commit crime in the name of demonstrations will be dealt with.
Magaidi wanaojificha kwa siasa kujaribu kuhujumu usalama wa nchi tutawakalia ngumu.
He assured them that the government is more than ready to deal with those who plan to vandalize property on Wednesday demonstrations, saying that police officers will be deployed at 1 a.m. to ensure no criminal, looter or hooligan gets a chance.
On Wednesday, we are ready for them. We will deploy from 1 a.m. We will make sure that no hooligan, no criminal, no looter gets his way.
For EBN TV, I'm Roifan Shikuku.
Asanteni sana, Mungu wabariki.
The Mombasa court has released Kilifi South Member of Parliament Ken Chengo and Kilifi County Speaker Teddy Mwambire on bail of 100,000 Kenyan shillings with one guarantor or cash of 50,000 shillings. Those ODM leaders from Kilifi County were arrested while carrying out demonstrations in Mtwapa, Kilifi County, and charged with participating in illegal demonstrations with the aim of disrupting peace and inciting violence, charges which they denied. Others who were released by Judge Martha Mutuku include Victor Katana and Patrick Chiro, whose case is expected to be heard on the 7th of the 8th month. However, supporters of the Azimio coalition who arrived at the court have insisted on continuing with the protest to pressure the government to deal with the difficult economic situation.
Wameweza kuachiliwa na dhamana ya shilingi 50,000 ama bond ya 100,000 shillings. Kama mawakili, ukiangalia ile fedha, zile fedha za wananchi zilizotumiwa kuwashika, kuwahangaisha, kuwalisha, kuwalinda, masubaru zaidi ya 10, kwangu kama wakili naona kwamba tunapoteza mwelekeo.
Muda ambao kwamba mtu anaweza kushikwa kiholela, huo muda umepita. Wacha mtu awe amekosa. Na siongei kama mshakiwa, naongea kama Mkenya. Hii ni haki ya Mkenya. Haki ya watu kukungamana. Katiba iko juu kushinda mtu yoyote hapa Kenya. Wacha Mkenya apewe haki yake.
Na iwapo pengine kuna watu wengine wanafikiri wanaweza kutuogofya, basi waambie wawe pole sana. Kwa sababu sisi hatutafuti haki yetu, tunatafuta haki ya Wakenya wengi ambao hawawezi kusimama imara kutetea haki yao. Kwa hivyo ningependa serikali ambayo iko kidogo elegeze mkono. Walituambia kwamba wamefunga kile kitabu cha wafungwa wa kisiasa, lakini kimefunguliwa, nimerejea tena kwa kile kitabu. Waambie kidogo wafunge na wajue kwamba katiba ambayo iko hairuhusu dhalimu ule ambao unaendelea.
Gharama imepanda sana, na kwa hivyo sisi tutasimama kidete mpaka tuone kwamba haki yetu inapatikana. Kwa leo,
This was actually an attempt to silence people. I'm not going to go into politics about it, but then it is quite obvious that when a state has gone rogue, it has gone rogue.
Senior Resident Magistrate Christine Ogweno has sentenced Alex Maina, the main suspect in the grievous assault of baby Junior Sagini, to 40 years behind bars. Maina is the cousin of the 3-year-old child whose eyes were gouged out in December 2022 at Ikuruma village in Kisii County. Magistrate Ogweno of Kisii Law Courts has also handed baby Sagini's aunt Pacifica Nyakerario and the grandmother Rael Mayaka 10 and 5-year jail terms respectively. The three were found guilty of gouging out baby Junior Sagini's eyes by the court on July 7th. Baby Sagini had his eyes gouged out after being kidnapped for 6 hours. His case has gripped the country's attention since it was first reported. On February 2nd, the suspect's charges were dropped from the initial attempted murder to grievous bodily harm due to lack of sufficient evidence. Now, church leaders continue to appear before the special committee of the Senate investigating the murder of the Shakahola deaths. Among those who arrived today is Pastor David Owor, who was represented by his lawyer together with Bishop Margaret Wanjiru of Jesus is Alive Ministries. The lawyer of Pastor Owor being asked to explain about the miracles he claims to have performed for his believers. More than 400 bodies have been exhumed in the Shakahola forest, while a special parliamentary committee was formed to investigate the deaths of the people in the area.
They gave me an authority to do a detailed history of these people who claim to have been healed. I did a detailed history of the people, even to the level of DNA PCR, and they were negative. So what I am saying is this: we need to focus on scientifically verifiable testing. The doctor should come and verify whether these actually are real healings. I have done it at Cambridge laboratories, and they have tested to the DNA PCR. So what we are saying is this: to avert what happened in Shakahola, we need to focus on the church that is playing the role, its role of bringing life, but not taking away life. The loss of life should not be the role that we saw it in, the role of the church that we saw in Shakahola. We want the church that is able to bring in life. And me as a Christian doctor, I know what it means to work together as a church, together with the doctors, to bring in a life. And even as I speak now, I came with one example here. Samson Buki, for example, who is here, and the HIV positive. We have tested, and we are testing every year to see what is the outcome, because NASCOP told me to follow up on these cases. So when this new phenomenon came, many people have been relieved of trouble. You know what HIV can do. And I want to believe that also, when we focus on this scientifically verified evidence of healing, we will be able to benefit as a nation also, because we are spending a lot of drug money. Even some we are getting from donors organizations outside. So we need to focus on where there is evidence that we can really benefit. Not people, because when the people went to die in Shakahola, they were actually looking for healing. Maybe they were looking for HIV, AIDS healing, but they were not, they were going to places where...
You are a bishop because you are ordained. If we have to maybe reduce, maybe to 7 years, but it can never be below 7 years. You cannot say that you are a bishop and you've not done ministry for plus 7 years. I mean, also ministry, there is the experience in it. So maybe 7, maybe 10, by the end of it you can come up, but that practice must be there. That experience must be there. Then you must be an ordained bishop. It's not just a title you called yourself. And you are ordained by who? You are ordained by a team of other senior bishops.
Vihiga County Governor Wilbur Otichilo has imposed a ban on official government travel, alleging that it is significantly contributing to the misappropriation of the county's resources. During the official launch of the County Integrated Development Plan, Otichilo highlighted the numerous trips draining substantial funds from the county through corruption. Furthermore, he announced that starting in the next 2 weeks, the county will adopt digital methods for tax collection to close corruption loopholes.
And I want to assure you, the budget for this plan is roughly 40 billion. We can raise 38.3 billion through the normal exchequer sharing and from other sources. The 1.7 billion, I want to assure you that we will be able to raise it. I have no reason why. We will be able to raise it. We are now improving our revenue collection. We are automating. And before the end of this month, I'm going to officially launch the automation of our revenue collection in the entire county. There will be no longer people paying money, cash money. It is going to end probably in the next 1 or 2 weeks before I launch. So we estimate that we should be able to collect in the next 1 year over 500 million. Unnecessary movement of staff going for unnecessary workshops and seminars, we are going not to allow. Because that's where most of your money is lost. Most of our money is lost in seminars and workshops, where people talk, take tea, take lunch, take dinner, and then wake up in the morning to talk again. So this I want to assure the people of Vihiga, I'm not going to allow. And my officers are here, I'm telling them when they are here. I will not allow unnecessary trouble. Because one trouble for one officer from here to Nairobi by air, stay in a 5-star hotel and back, costs not less than 50,000. Just going to Nairobi and do what they're supposed to do and back. Not, so you are spending about 50,000 on one person in 2 days. That is money that can be used to buy a lot of drugs for most of our dispensaries.
Now, the Nyanza Anglican bishops have asked President William Ruto to let the former first family of the Kenyatas be and instead focus on issues affecting the country. Speaking at the Jaramogi Oginga Teaching and Referral Hospital in Kisumu, where they had gone to visit patients, the religious leaders asked the government to give the Kenyatas the respect they deserve. Led by the ASCK Bishop David Kodia, the clergy father urged President William Ruto to give his predecessor Uhuru Kenyatta a call-in order to save the nation. On Friday evening, the former president addressed the nation, faulting the move by the police to raid his son's residence in search of guns. Uhuru dared Ruto to come for him and stop harassing his family.
That responsible leadership must exercise tolerance beneath and above the surface of logic. We want the president to give the Kenyatta family the latitude they deserve as the former first family in this country. A phone call to the former president would save this nation of such an embarrassment that we have witnessed for the last few days. If we want to run this country on the basis of suspicion, fear and vendetta, then no one will remain in this country. Fueling tension through reckless utterances cannot save this nation from its economic woes. A national conversation is critical as a panacea for peaceful transition.
Now, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has called for a relook at existing financial systems for the agricultural sector, saying they were disadvantageous to African countries, yet they needed better funding. While addressing a high-level session on financing food systems transformation during the ongoing United Nations Food Systems Summit in Rome, Italy on Monday, the Deputy President said the continent continued to face challenges frustrating agricultural production, calling for favorable funding systems for the sector. The summit is being held at the Food and Agriculture Organization headquarters in Rome, Italy. The second in command said Kenya is working closely with partners to improve food production amid the emerging challenges, including the recent prolonged droughts, pressing for reconsideration of financial assistance for the continent.
We in Kenya have a very sound strategy to re-engineer food systems financing, and our administration was elected last year, and we have changed the entire strategy in financing by putting money at the bottom of the pyramid through the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. We have embraced financial inclusivity by creating a 10 billion Kenya shillings fund for the Hustler Nation. The Hustler Nation are the ordinary people who are the majority in terms of food production. There before, there has been a great challenge in accessing affordable credit to enable farmers to buy inputs and to buy the right certified seeds. As a result of that financial inclusivity to the people at the bottom of the pyramid, many farmers are able now to produce food and produce the right yield. Again, the Kenya government has put 50 billion Kenya shillings for organizing the financial space around making interventions for the agricultural sector. Over and above, the government has put aside funds for subsidized fertilizer to enable the farmers to lower the cost of production and increase their yields. We have a very serious engagement with our international friends and partners because we have a budget deficit and we cannot, as a country, be in a position to single-handedly finance our requirements. We continue to engage with our international friends and partners, and President William Ruto in Paris called for a review of the financial architecture. The present financial architecture has been very disadvantageous to the African continent that faces huge challenges, like my brother here, my neighbor from Somalia, has explained.
Now, sadly, a family from Mulwanda in Kakamega County woke up to a rude shock discovering a mutilated body of a 26-year-old young man decomposing in a maize plantation. The family of the deceased has condemned the heinous murder, affirming that the late was a good person and of good character and had never been involved in any criminal activities. The family is now calling on the government to conduct a comprehensive investigation to apprehend the perpetrators and ensure justice is served to the family.
Nilikuwa kwa shamba langu nikipalilia kidogo, kwa harakati hiyo nikapata mtoto akuja kuniita ati alikuwa anakata mahindi, akaniambia kuna mapata mtu huko chini kwa shamba la jirani. Nikasema hebu tuende tumuone. Nikaenda pale nikapitisha kweli ni mtu na ameekelewa kwa gunia na amekufa. So kwa saa hii sasa tumefahamisha ni mtu ambaye amejulikana ni wa area. Sasa niyo ndio tunajua tu ni mtu wa area, amejulikana kitambo, hata tumeshajua ni mtu wa area. Mwili imekaa kama siku 2-3 hivi, yani imeharibika kidogo. Sasa siku huwezi kuitambua vizuri. So ndugu yake vile amekuja kaangalia kasema ni yeye, ni ndugu yake amekufa.
Ukiona mahali mtoto ameuliwa, hakuna damu. Hakuna damu hapo. Which means mtoto aliuliwa mahali kwingine akakuja kuwa dumped here. Hawa ni wako wetu na ni familia moja tu. Mtoto hawezi uliwa hapa, kwao ni hapa. Hawa wakose kusikia akilia, akipika nduru. Hii ni familia moja tu hii. Which means this guy was killed somewhere na akakuja kuwa dumped here. But to speak the truth, ambaye itatuokoa, huyu mtoto si mwizi. Viungo haiko. Ni kama alikatwa mkono na unaona wanyama. Sasa wakaanza kukula. Hiyo mkono ukiona ni kama ni maumba zilikuwa zinakula.
As a way to motivate students, especially girls in high schools, Moi Girls High School from Uasin Gishu County organized a unique exhibition themed around environmental talents in painting. The exhibition brought together over 200 students from different departments, showcasing the environmental painting skills. One after another, they entered confidently and beautifully displaying their artistic abilities.
The good direction that education is taking, because back in my time we were just told to focus on our studies, but now people are being encouraged, and the young people are being encouraged to go out there and to do something about the issues we face as a community, the issues we face as a country and globally. So I'm so passionate about environmental sustainability because without our environment, I mean, we're not even able to live. Without the trees, without different types of nature, different pieces of nature, the biosystem, the ecosystem, we're not able to live effectively.
Urging young people to support the president goal of 15 billion trees by the end of by the year 2032, and nice environment, good health, and yeah, fresh.
We are out of class just to implement our other part of the mission statement, that is talent development. I said our 3 key pillars is academic performance, talent development, and spiritual nourishment. So today we are here to have students showcase their talents. What we normally do in the Miss Moiji contest, students choose projects that they want to do. So the focus of this year's Miss Moiji contest is on environmental conservation.
Now, from the sports desk, Kiambu golfer broke a record at the end of a 3-day top amateur golfers open tournament, the 103rd Barry Cup in 2023, held at Mombasa Golf Club in Mombasa at the Par 71 Sea-Link Mombasa Golf Course, which began on Friday and ended Sunday. The 3-day event ended on Sunday after a cut over 36 holes on Saturday, and it was played for the first time as a 54-hole event to enable the elite amateur an opportunity to earn World Amateur Golf ranking points. Since the Barry Cup was donated by one of the founder members of the Mombasa Golf Club, Perry Barry, in 1913, it has always been played over 36 holes in 2 days.
I feel honored being breaking the course record from -5 and giving it a chance to -7. I think it is an honor being in Mombasa and bringing the course record back. I think my aim today was just to keep on fit and try to go deep as possible. The weather condition was good. This course, Mombasa course, is the best of the best. I think it is a green course. You can score depending with the wind. Today there was no wind, green on regulation, 1 putt, and you go. I think we played all in the same condition. First day, there are those who played in the morning. Second day, there are those who played in the evening. I think it was fairly done. And coming to the last round, as usual, when I'm winning these tournaments, I think I always come from behind. So I knew today I can do something and play good golf as I have.
And taking over. So as a government, county government of Mombasa, we are ready to partner with them. Just like I promised the chair, Kenya Golf Union, we are actually ready to partner, and we will go to as many schools as possible, go get the youth out there, so that we come up with programs where our young people will be trained to play golf.
Football Kenya Federation and the Machakos County Government on Monday signed a deal that will see the entities work together to set up the National Football Technical Center in Machakos. The center will comprise of 3 international standard football pitches, offices and accommodation facilities. The facility, which is meant for training coaches, referees and young footballers, will cost 4.5 million.
The willingness. Najua unaweza kupiga simu, kasema tunataka shamba, lakini kaambua kuja next year. We didn't have next year. We had now.
This project will benefit our county in various ways, including youth football development. Youth will get a chance to showcase their talents. Capacity building, high quality training will be offered for upcoming coaches and referees, among other football officials. And if you know, the three best in Kenya are from Machakos. Yes.
Well, indeed, quite some good news for football, for that project that has been launched by the FKF President Nick Mwendwa in Machakos in the company of Governor Wavinya Ndeti. Also a reminder that the FIFA Women's World Cup is on. Quite some interesting matches are lined up for tomorrow. which started, you know, of course, sometime last week on Thursday. So we hope that you're also getting entertained with that. But that is where we want to wrap our bulletin tonight. Thank you for keeping me company, and to all those that have been watching us online as well and back at home. So keep safe, stay warm. I'm Cynthia Nanjala. Have a blessed night.